bridge. There is. All right. Welcome, college baseball fans. I'm once again joined by my co-host, Chad Knight, and we have a special guest. It is the leadoff man extraordinaire for the Duke Blue Devils offense, the explosive Duke Blue Devils offense. He's having a career year playing second base, the former VMI cadet. Zac, welcome to the show. Glad you could be here. Zac Morris and Chad Knight. First of all, I believe congratulations are in order for both of you. You both graduated today.
Some would say against all odds, but we did it, man.
Yes. Just so you guys could see the photo that was tweeted out, here is the photo. Chad got to be right up there, right next to Coach Pollard, and I think they relegated Zac off to the side with Ben Miller there on the left side.
They put the mustaches together.
Yeah, put the mustaches together. I was sitting there. I was like, which ones? I was like, let me make sure. All right, I figured it out.
Look, I've been here for 5 years. I hope I get to stand next to Coach.
yeah. That's what I was thinking. Well, it's funny because I was also looking at, you guys have the sash there that says student athlete, and I thought it was interesting. The guy with 3 degrees over there on the right, Charlie Bielenson, doesn't have his on. So I had replied, does he not identify as a student athlete?
You know what? The funny thing is, some would say he doesn't look like a student athlete, but he's one hell of a student and he's one hell of an athlete. I mean, I saw D1 Baseball came out with the reliever power rankings, and I mean, he was second. That's great. I mean, if I was the second best reliever in college baseball, I'd be really happy.
Well,
but I mean, we believe
fit
best pitcher in the nation, and I mean, he's just been unbelievable for us all year long. We think he deserves to be number one, and I don't know. Anytime he gets the pitch, Blue Devils are in a great spot. So,
and he pitched all 4 games this past week. The rubber-armed guy. I will tell you, Aaron Fitt is obsessed with him. He's already this was back in March, and Aaron was like, he's gonna captain my all fit team. so
yeah, he's our favorite player too.
Yeah, he's a character. Congratulations on graduating. That's massive. Both of you, that was your second degree, right, Zac? Is that your graduate degree as well? You have an undergraduate from the Virginia Military Institute, which is a school near and dear to my heart. I went to Fort Union Military Academy for a little bit of time in high school, so I'm very familiar with VMI. The campuses look very similar.
Yep.
Very.
They got some great players over there. Zac will tell you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Real good players over there.
Yeah, so it's funny. You know, people might say some bad things about the SoCon, but I mean, Zac went up a level and he's putting up numbers he didn't put up at VMI. So, you know.
To everybody listening, Zac Morris, all ACC second baseman. He's got my vote. I know he's got Monty's vote.
Yep.
Let's make that happen.
Yeah, and Zac made our all-star team that we did in the middle of the season. He was our Coastal Division second baseman in our theoretical all-star game. That I think that'd be such a cool thing to do. We also had a home run derby. I actually showed Chad that in our first episode. But
by the way, he told me Sam Harris
would win that.
Sam Harris, yeah, that's what Chad said. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to specifically come and see some batting practice. See Sam hit some.
You come to the ACC tournament and watch Duke's batting practice. Sam Harris is going to break some windshields, and he's going to break some windows at some expensive building, because that guy hits the ball harder and further than anyone I've ever seen before.
That's awesome. I love that. That's what I don't see enough of is sometimes some of the batting practice I want to see more of. But anyway, moving along a little bit, you guys had a huge road win midweek against East Carolina. Chad, I texted you. What was the atmosphere like?
I mean, Zac was out there, so he's the right person to ask. But I know from the dugout, that's one of the most incredible college baseball experiences, atmospheres ever. I mean, they got a great program over there. The fans are great. They totally make the entire atmosphere worth it. I mean, it's a bucket list. It should be a bucket list for everyone. And they've hosted a bunch of regionals. They've won a bunch of regionals. They've hosted some supers in the last couple of years. I know they haven't made it to the College World Series yet, but they're knocking on the door like us. But it's really an incredible atmosphere. I think any college baseball fan that has the opportunity to go there, it's as good as atmosphere in college baseball as you're going to get. And especially for a non-SEC school, non-Power 5 school, it's truly amazing. I mean, they got a really loyal fan base, and I mean, quite frankly, the players that get to play there, they're gonna have a fun 4 years. I know Zach can say the same thing.
Oh yeah. Getting to talk to the kids in the outfield who had the fans out there yelling at them, and obviously we have 2 freshmen out there who are pretty special, and they're getting to experience, getting heckled like that for the first time. It was pretty special, pretty special environment. There's 3,000 to 4,000 fans there, just yelling at you. You also have that Southern hospitality at the same time. After the game, they really treated us well. There was no banter or anything like that after the game. They just congratulated us on the win, and it was a good college baseball environment.
Yeah, it's what I've read about it, I still haven't gotten out there, and I actually did. There was an author that wrote a book about the unique atmosphere there, and I actually helped her market it a little bit. I had her on the show, and and she said her favorite thing is when they actually give the opponent's players care packages, because sometimes, like, depending on how you react to them, they start to really like some of the opposing players, and they'll end up giving them hot dogs or actually giving them care packages, which is pretty neat, because you also want them to lose. So
let's take after Starkville, because Zach tells me when he played at Duty Noble, it was like the greatest Southern hospitality, greatest fans. They got some care packages going home. They were really nice to the parents.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I was fortunate enough to play opening day last year.
That's right.
Mississippi State. And, they have the frat lots out in right field, and, they're heckling our outfielders. It's the biggest environment we ever played in. I think there was 10,000 to 15,000, fans there. And,
more than the Oakland A's.
Yeah. And, the Jungle really competed with that. It obviously didn't have as many fans, but, for the kids who were out there in the outfield, like AJ and KJ, getting heckled out there for the first time. And, similar to Duty Noble after the games, Duty Noble, they were able to give us food after the game, this special college baseball environment out there. And, I was hearing stories from KJ and AJ, and they really treated them well after the game too. So
Charlie had the funniest story, by the way. So Charlie's warming up in the bullpen, coming in close, like do his thing, do like the typical like Mariano Rivera, like 2-inning save. And he's warming up, and he hears like, "Oh, Bellinson, you're from California? You must love taxes." And we were cracking up.
That's so great. Yeah, really creative. You guys hear any other good chirps? Zach, I know you're being in the infield, but did you hear any other from your teammates? Any good chirps from the fans?
Yeah, they had a funny one, and I think the KJ is obviously he's our Saturday starter, and he throws 96 as an 18-year-old kid, and they were making fun of him, telling him they had that their kids in middle school had better arms than him out in the outfield. KJ is Mr. Smile. So he's just out there smiling at them, like obviously not paying any mind to him, but it was pretty fun.
I'm sure they loved that, yeah, because I'm sure they just reacting in a good way as opposed to any other way. But yeah, that's pretty funny that you're yelling at the Saturday starter who's throwing mid to upper 90s that you've got a better arm.
So he's probably going to be future first rounder and 18 years old. I'm sure it's something he's going to remember the rest of his life.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, no, I really need to get down there. And I was also talking with our ECU contributor, because I don't understand why you guys only play once a year. It seems like a shame that ECU gets to play UNC for a whole series early in the season, yet they only played Duke once. Because I think, Chad, you said you only had been to the Jungle one other time in your career, right?
It was my third time at the Jungle.
So it was your third? Okay.
Well, we had lost the 2 previous times there. But the last 2 times we played ECU, we beat them twice. Last year we only played them once. This year we only played them once. Typically we would always play them twice a year, kind of like Campbell. It's like we play them
home and away kind of deal.
Yeah. I don't make the schedules, so I don't really know what's going on. But I imagine going forward with the program they have, it's going to be a priority to have on the Duke schedule, and hopefully we're a priority on their schedule too.
Yeah, North Carolina is just so rich with talent, as poor NC State has kind of figured out with their midweek schedule, with some of the games they've dropped in the midweek.
It's Mecca of college baseball, right? To forget, but hey, for all the North Carolinians out there, like, you got a lot of great options. You got the Wolfpack, you got the Blue Devils, you got the Demon Deacons, you got the Purple and Gold at ECU, you got Campbell, and now who did I forget? Oh, the Tar Heels, UNC.
I was like, I thought you were doing that on purpose. I thought that was. So obviously you guys had a little bit of a disappointing series in Atlanta, but it was thrilling. The offense got going, but can you take us through some of the vibes after that series? You guys still feeling pretty good, right? I mean, it was a tough series. It just didn't go your way.
That's all you, man.
Yeah, I think that from an offensive standpoint, we did everything we could. We had a lot of good at bats. And Georgia Tech's offense is really good. You got Burris and obviously a bunch of other players. They really took good at bats all weekend against obviously our pitching staffs is one of the best in the country. So, losing Santucci on Friday night was a tough thing to deal with, and I think we bounced back really well. And we've got a great pitching staff. I'm sure we're going to come up with a great game plan, this weekend against the Tar Heels, and we'll be just fine.
I think from the outside looking in too, like it's one of those series, kind of similar to Florida State, where you could have won all 3 games, you could have lost all 3 games. They were really like close games. I think the team really competed well, and that's baseball. Like sometimes you play 9 innings and things go your way. Sometimes you play 9 innings and things don't go your way. You're playing at a away series in the ACC. It's challenging, and they showed up and played. They had their senior day. I'm sure the guys had a lot of energy. For some of those kids, it's their last time playing college baseball at Rush Chandler Stadium at Georgia Tech. So they came out with good energy, and they competed really well. I thought we competed really well too. And like I said, the series could have gone either way. It went their way this time, but who knows? We meet them in the ACC tournament. Could go our way. So.
And overall, going 2-2 last week is still really good, considering you get that road win at East Carolina. That really helps as you guys are looking to host at Jack Coombs. But Zach, I talked to Chad last week about the stadium in Atlanta, and I just want to get your thoughts. Was that your first time playing at Georgia Tech?
It was.
What did you think of the stadium and that view?
Yeah, it was beautiful. I mean, it's one of my favorite ACC parks that I've gotten the chance to play at. That's for sure. I mean, it's a great park to hit at, obviously.
You hit a home run,
yeah.
Grass there is beautiful. The buildings in the background are beautiful. I mean, it was a really good experience.
Yeah, I haven't gotten down there either. Every time I see it on TV, I'm like, holy crap. It's like I forget every time I go to turn it on, and I'm like, wow, just the way they built it with the view in the background is fantastic. So I'm always kind of jealous there. We're going into rivalry week, guys. It's a big one. North Carolina, they've wrapped up the division. They're coming. I guess they're going 10 minutes. They're going 10 minutes up the road. Is this rivalry? Is there an extra intensity to this rivalry matchup, or is it still just kind of business as usual?
I think for the fans, it's probably a rivalry. I think for the players, it doesn't matter who we play. It doesn't matter if Virginia Tech, Florida State, UNC, Wake Forest. To us, our coach always likes to say we compete to our own standard of excellence. If we play like Duke baseball as branded as we know how, we know we're going to be competitive. We know we have a chance to win. Like I said, it doesn't really matter who we play. I think it's good publicity. Anytime you have a Tobacco Road rivalry, anytime it's Duke UNC, whether it's basketball, football, lacrosse, it's always good for publicity. It's always good for the fans. Adds a little bit of extra flavor, I think, for the fans that come up in attendance. But I don't know. I think for us, like we said, we've played a lot of really, really great teams this year. We know we're a great team ourselves, whether it's UNC, Florida State, Wake Forest. You play in the ACC, you expect to play good teams. We expect them to be nothing different, but at the exact same time, we know that we're a really good team too.
So it doesn't quite have like the same basketball like level of feel.
I would say every ACC game really has that feel. You're always competing against good teams in this league. I don't really think it's any different against, the Tar Heels. I think we're obviously 2 really good teams. I've gotten the chance to play against them twice in midweeks formerly, and I think that, it's all the same, especially now, competing in this league and understanding kind of like how the competition rolls. And obviously Coach Pollard always tells us to compete against it's really just compete against the baseball itself. It's going to be a good matchup, and I don't think it's really any different for any of the games that we played so far.
It's a diplomatic answer.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's fine. Just as long as it's true. No, Chad, what's your favorite UNC Duke moment? I know you say it's just like any other game, but we're gonna stick on this rivalry mode a little bit. Do you have a favorite moment from Duke UNC?
I think two stand out to me. Number one, we play UNC my junior year, and Luke Storm's a freshman. You know, he starts maybe 5 games on the year. We're playing UNC, and he has a 2 home run game. The second ball he hits for a home run goes probably 470 feet. It goes 50 feet over the Tobacco Road sign at the DBAP, if you've ever been there. Absolutely crushed. And I remember being so pumped up for him. I remember it was like a go-ahead home run. It was so exciting, so hype. That moment really stands out to me. Just one of the furthest balls I've ever seen hit. The other one that really stands out to me is when Alex Mooney last year hit the go-ahead home run or the game-tying home run against UNC. And we won that Saturday game. It was Coach Pollard's. It was a record win, maybe 700, I think.
One of those nice round numbers, 100 round numbers.
It was a round number. It was a pretty significant win. I remember we won that game. Mooney was our captain last year, someone we all looked up to, some incredible ball player, having a great season in minor leagues already this year. Hopefully going to get promoted soon. Hopefully going to be in the big leagues soon enough. But when he hit that home run, I remember like all the guys were just so excited, you know, to see him have that moment, to see that moment with Coach Pollard. It was a really, really fun time with the team. And I don't know, every time we play UNC, we always have a great series. Obviously, they're a rival, but it's business as usual for us.
All right, it's going to get a little sentimental here because it's looking like it's senior day, right? On one of those games, I imagine.
I think Sunday, yeah. No, Saturday.
Saturday. So, it's going to be your last regular season game at Jack Coombs.
Well, we could host. Oh, regular.
Yeah, regular. So that's why I was like, I'm hoping you host, but it could be your last. It will be your last regular. Hopefully, not your last total. What's going to be going through your mind? We can start with Zach if you want a moment, Chad, since you've been there.
Please.
Zach, what's it meant to you to get to Duke and have this opportunity, and obviously make the most of it with the career you're having, and then what are you be thinking about when you're taking the field Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you always try not to make it a big deal, so you can perform at the level you want to perform at. I mean, my last 4 years at VMI were special. Made a lot of good friends, played a lot of good baseball, but getting the opportunity to play big time baseball in the ACC has been everything that I imagined it would be, and getting to play with these guys has been awesome. Making new friendships, bonding with these guys, it's been amazing.
It's gonna make me cry.
Yeah, I mean, getting the opportunity to play for Coach Pollard and Eric Tyler and Ty Blankmeyer and all these guys, and making new friendships, like I said, it's been special, and not ready to think about it yet. Honestly, we got some things to take care of before I have to wrap my head around being done playing college baseball.
Yeah, hopefully you guys playing for another 40 days or so. That'll be where the national championship are held, but not to think too far ahead, but hopefully you guys are playing as long as you possibly can. Chad, what's it going to, I mean, I know you were kind of waffling on even coming back to play this year, right?
Yeah, it was weird. I mean, I had a job offer. I was lucky enough where I got an incredible opportunity to come back to Duke, and it was something I couldn't turn down. And my employer, Deutsche Bank, was kind enough to, grant me the opportunity to go to grad school and have this one opportunity to play baseball. I mean, look, it's a little bit different for me. I think Zach has an opportunity to go and be a major leaguer, play a little bit of professional baseball. I don't think this is the last baseball he's going to play. But for me, it's a little bit different. It's, it's 18 years of my life, memory spent with my dad, memory spent with my best friends playing baseball. So it's not just marking the end of my Duke experience, but one of the landmarks of my baseball experience too. And it's certainly going to be emotional, I don't know. I think guys like to put on this like front of kind of like pushing down their feelings, but 100%. Like I've been here for 5 years, donated my blood, sweat, and tears to this program, and the field, and there's so many memories that go back with so many great teammates. The Graham Paulies, the Billy Seidels, the Alex Mooneys of the world, the Joey Loperfitos, the guys that you develop such good relationships with, and I mean it's going to be emotional for sure. I think it's something worth celebrating, but I probably shouldn't say this, but a lot of things have been done on that field, and I'm certainly going to miss it. If you know, you know.
Yep. So yeah, it's going to be I imagine it's going to be emotional because it's going to be a pretty sentimental moment. But hopefully, you guys still have plenty of time to play a little bit longer and hopefully play at Coombs a little bit more, and get to do that. Does your team feel a little bit more cohesive and like closer than you have felt in on teams in past years, or is it relatively the same?
I mean, every team has its unique personality. It's like having a kid, right? Every time I told Coach Pollard this in the fall, it's like each team that you have, it's like having a kid. You're gonna have some quiet kids, you're gonna have some extroverts, you're gonna have the perfect child, you're gonna have the messy child, right? But you love them all the same. Every team that I've ever played on has a different personality, but you know what? I love them all equally. Even the teams that the teams that won the ACC championship, the COVID year that got canceled, the team where we didn't make the ACC tournament, and this team right here, last year's team that went through a super regional. Like you can't. I don't think you can pick between teams that you love the most because you love your teammates, you love the coaches, you love the experiences the same. And I think this team has a pretty unique personality. Like we love each other, we enjoy spending time around each other. And look, I know when it comes, playoff time and it becomes elimination time, like Coach always says the best, like. Play for a championship, you play to win the game, but selfishly, like we played to extend our season, to spend more time around each other, because that's really what it's all about. It's about the teammates, it's about the relationships, it's about the experiences, and those are really the moments and the things we're going to treasure most at the end of the experience. I think you agree.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a special moment. It's a special team. I mean, getting to bond with these guys, like I said earlier, it's been special. I mean, we love playing Mafia together. I mean, every college baseball team does, but this team really, I mean, Mafia, it's been really one of our true identities. If you know, you know, and playing with this team on the field and bonding with this team off the field, obviously for me, it's been nothing like I've ever done before, nothing like I've ever experienced before. So it's been pretty special for me.
Yeah, I haven't followed Duke teams in the past as closely as I have this one, and there's just something it's just how much fun you guys have. Even just watching just the baseball game, you can see how much fun you guys have together. And then
you're wearing that Duke T-shirt, we can tell.
Yeah. But yeah, and also like, I mean, I stumbled across your TikToks, Chad, recently. Unfortunately, when you become a contact, it starts telling me that my contacts are on TikTok, and I was like, oh, well, this is interesting. And apparently, you've got a little bit of a viral following there. I have a question. I know you did a relationship questionnaire, and I'm curious if Andrew Healy is in the doghouse after his response on your TikTok. You can say no comment.
The diplomatic thing to say is that sometimes young men make bad decisions. And sometimes they say things that they don't mean. And I think sometimes everyone deserves a second chance.
I was just laughing because everyone else brilliantly handled it, and then Andrew Healy just decided to
I've heard this many times in my life that honesty is the best policy, so I'm not going to criticize anyone.
Absolutely, that's true. That was a really fun TikTok. But yeah, somebody said it to me. Was like, "Hey, is Andrew Healy in trouble?" I was like, "I don't know. That doesn't."
Hey man, he's gonna be starting for us. He's clearly on our team. We love him. So that's all.
But if anyone's watching, go check out Chad's TikToks. He asked his teammates a bunch of questions, all the different questions, various ones. It's a lot of fun. You can see Zach on there sometimes, and
I mean, what goes on in guys' personal lives is up to them, right? Like I can know about it. I don't have to comment on it. I don't need to criticize anything. I know, and that's all I need to know.
Yep. So, sorry to throw that one on you. I was just thinking about that one, but
for the record, great guy, unbelievable dude, great friend. If I ever need anything, I would call him. He's going to be at my wedding, probably be at Zach's wedding too. You'll love him.
And I'm glad he's back. I know that's going to be a big boost. He was out for about a month, so I know him being back is a really good thing on the baseball field as well. So glad Andrew Healy is going to be back for the team. We're just having some laughs here. Anyway,
publicity, right?
Huh?
No such thing as bad publicity, right?
Yeah. Well, we'll see what Aaron thinks about that once he sees the show. And if you'll let me do a 4th episode. No, I'm sure it'll be fine. But yeah, so last thing I want to talk about is we talked a little bit about road trips last week, and you mentioned possibly talking about a day in the life, and I'd love for you guys to kind of walk us through what a ACC weekend series is like.
So it depends. There's 2 types of travel days that traditionally occur. There's bus rides, where kind of local or within the 6 to 8 hour range. And then there's your far trips. So like if you're ever going to Miami from Duke, if you're ever going to Florida State, anything that would probably be over like a 10-hour bus ride, you're probably taking a plane. So if we're going on a plane, if we're going to Tallahassee, if we're going to Miami, you wake up, you pack your bags, coach sends out a travel roster the night before, you wake up, show up to the locker room, finish packing, grab your jerseys. Hopefully freshmen don't forget anything. I have. It's a story for another time. Ask me about it next week. I'll tell you about it. But you go, you pack your bags, you go to the locker room, you get breakfast, you get your lunch, you get your meal. Then you get on the bus takes you to the airplane. We're really lucky at Duke. We fly charter. It's basically like taking a private jet. You go, you show up, bags basically get checked like that. You step on the plane. A couple hours later, you're at the place you need to be. Bus takes you to your hotel. You have practice that day. A couple hours later, after you check into the hotel, you go and have a team meeting, team meal the night after practice. Shower, turn in your laundry, and then the rest of the night's really up to you. Like you can hang out with your teammates, you can go to bed, you can do some homework if it's during the season, and then you wake up the next day. You have breakfast, lunch, you go play. Hopefully you win. And then afterwards, like I said, like you turn in your laundry, you have a team dinner. Some guys go out to the dinner with their families. Some guys have the team meal, which is always provided. And then the rest of the day is up to you. Most of the time during the season at Duke, you're doing homework. In Mabel, when you're out of school, most of the time it's just team bonding. You know, we go play Mafia. We go like hang in someone's room. We watch some other ACC baseball. We watch some other SEC baseball, whatever college baseball we can because we love it. I mean, if you're an NHL fan, you can watch the Stanley Cup playoffs. We hang out, people those probably some of the best moments on it. Like a bunch of my good friends who have like finished playing college baseball always say like, you know, it's not the wins and the losses, it's not the homers or the strikeouts that you really remember, but it's those moments that you spend in the hotel room with each other. It's the moments that you spend at dinner with each other. It's the moments that you spend on the bus with each other, you know, on the plane with each other, where you really build those relationships where it's like, these are situations, 12-hour bus ride or on a plane ride that gets delayed for a couple hours because lightning struck the plane that was supposed to pick you up, where, you know, you're not supposed to have fun, but when you're around a team, the challenge and the team building activity is, how do you turn a bad situation into something that's good, right? How do you turn something or not, how do you turn, you know, how do you draw blood from stone, right? How do you turn nothing into something? And honestly, when it's all said and done, when I'm done with college baseball, those are going to be some of my favorite memories, you know, including the home runs and everything else I can remember on the field. But those off the field memories are something that you can't forget. And I know I've gotten closer with Zach. I know Zach has gotten closer with me. And I know that we've all gotten closer with a lot of our teammates through those bus rides and through those dinners and through traveling. And I mean, honestly, traveling is like one of the best ways that team building occurs. And I know everyone in the Ivy League that takes those long bus rides, whether you're going from Princeton to Harvard or from Harvard to Penn, Logan Bravo and Ben Miller can attest to this. Like, that's where you really build those relationships. It's where the grit's formed.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt it. Yeah, and you've got a number of, I was going to ask if when you mentioned the charter, I was looking over at Zach's face. How that is that one of the nicest perks?
Tell me about the duty noble trip.
So I've gone from, you know, we would go to Mercer and Sanford, which are both like 12-hour bus rides there and back. And last year we did the Mississippi State trip, which is about it was like 15 hours there and back. So, you know, going from that, you know, those 15 hours on a bus ride with people, you really bond with your teammates. I'll tell you that. You know, obviously playing Mafia, getting to know your teammates there, you bond with people from, you know, freshman to senior, just like that. I mean, one bus ride of 15 hours, I'll tell you, it's a really good time. And, you know, obviously the coolest thing for me this year, I think, for away trips is just not having to do that. I mean, we got on this is the first time I got on a plane to go to a series. and I felt like I was living the luxury life. I mean, I also described it. It was pretty awesome getting to get on a plane with my teammates, and experiencing that with them. For me, I felt like I was a 17, 18-year-old freshman again, getting to experience something for the first time.
You look 23 with the mustache.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Or not, we're repping the mustaches, but that experience for me was really cool. Getting to get on a plane with my teammates, it was awesome.
Yeah, well, and it's got to feel really kind of surreal that months ago you get on a plane and now you're an MLB draft prospect. Like it's got to be kind of surreal going from graduating VMI to this moment in less than a year.
Yeah, I tested that, to my teammates at VMI, my coaches at VMI. I mean, they really helped me get to where I am today. And then obviously my coaches here really helped me accelerate, to be, to take another step forward as the player that I am now. Ty and Eric have really helped me, develop even more from where I was at. And I mean, it's just obviously, going from a military environment to now, getting to get good sleep and eat good food has been, it's a really simple task. I was texting my hitting coach from VMI today, and it's really simple. It's just, getting good sleep and eating good food. That's might be the biggest part for me is just being able to be a normal kid for the first year of my college.
You get that wonderful degree from VMI and that experience from VMI, which is world class, but you still get 1 year of enjoying a kind of a semi-normal college experience, which is really, really nice. That's awesome. Chad, you got any good stories before we finish up this episode, or?
Yeah, I can tell a funny story. So I told you about the freshman year, freshmen forgetting to pack their bags. Well, that actually was me. And I promise it's my fault. I learned to take accountability. I still claim it's not my fault. So, first freshman road trip ever. We're flying to Minnesota. We're going to go play in the Viking Stadium. We're all excited. We have a 8 a.m. flight, which means, you show up to the locker room at 6 a.m. You have your breakfast. You get on the bus. It's my first road trip ever. We're all have anxiety about all right, did I pack everything? What time should we get there? And freshmen at Duke, the freshman campus is a mile, 2 miles away from where the locker room is. It's a separate campus. It's great because there's community there, but when you're commuting to West Campus, it's kind of tough. So I get in with my freshman roommates, and I get in the car. I have my car on campus. They don't. So we go in my car. We throw our duffel bags in there. We throw our baseball stuff in there. We drive to the field. And at Duke, the one bad thing about Duke is the parking. I'm sure it's not.
Oh yeah.
But we're going to go park the car, and I can't find a parking spot. I'm all right. It's 5:45. We got to get on the bus by 6. Hopefully, be at the airport by 7. I'm gonna go drop you at the closest place to the locker room, closest place to the bus. Just take your bags, take my bags, put them on the bus, and meet you on the bus. I'll go park the car. I go park my car in the last, the furthest spot from the baseball field, the furthest spot from where the bus is picking us up. And I broke a sweat at 6 a.m. Sun hasn't even risen yet. It's the middle of February. Pre-daylight savings. We're walking to the bus, or I'm walking to the bus rather. And I'm okay, thank God I don't have to go to the locker room. My teammates took everything to the bus. We had everything we needed. Just got to get on the bus, fall asleep at 6 a.m. We got a couple hour flight to Minnesota. I'll sleep on the bus. Or sleep on the plane. And the bus takes off. We're phew, thank God. We almost missed the bus. We were kind of close. We get on the highway. Immediately just get on the highway. I go, hey, Britt. Hey, Clark. Those are my freshman roommates. You guys put my stuff on the bus, just making sure, just want to dot my I's, cross my T's to go, what stuff? Stuff I asked you to take because I dropped you closest to the parking lot because I'm a good friend and told you I would park the car, and quid pro quo, you would go and put my bags on the bus, please. You go, what bags are you talking about? I'm my computer bag, my baseball bag, my duffel bag. You guys are 220-pound student athletes. I know you can carry them. They go, I go, please tell me you put my bags on the bus. Are they under the bus? I don't want my computer bag. Where is it? I go, so now I'm like having a panic attack. We're like
no.
a mile away from the university. We're going to like, I think it was a commercial airline this time. So like we have to be on time. You got to go check in.
And you're a freshman, right? So
my first road trip. So I'm freaking out. So like my heart starts pounding. I'm like, I run up to the front of the bus. I'm like, Coach Pollard. My roommates forgot to pack my bags. We need to turn around. I need to go back. And Coach goes, excuse me, do you mean you forgot to pack your bags? And I go, well, no, like they didn't pack my bags. I dropped them off. He goes, no. This is your fault. Did you not pack your bags? I go, Coach, I forgot to pack my bags. Will you please turn around? I don't have them. He goes, well, what bags did you forget? I'm like, my baseball bag with all the equipment, my bag with my jerseys, underwear, socks, contacts, everything. Coach goes, tells the bus driver to turn the bus around, turns the bus around. We get back to campus like 10 minutes later. I sprint off the bus. I take a beeline right to the locker room. I go in the locker room. I'm freaking out. Like, oh my God, this is all on me. Like, everyone's going to think I'm like the worst person ever. I go in the locker room. I can't find my bags. I go, where are my bags? Are they in my car? Do I have to go back to my car? Like, what the hell's going on? I call my friends. I'm like, where are my bags? Did you take them out of the car? They're like, I don't know. Like, we took our bags. I was like, dude, please tell me you took the bags out of the car. They're like, oh, just look around the locker room. I'm like, they're not here. I go look around the locker room. They put their bags, my bags, in their lockers and just left them there.
Wow.
I find my bags. I mean, I was saying, like, even if my bags were on the bus, I was going to come back with something because I made the bus turn around. I was panicking. I was going to run back with like an empty duffel bag with like nothing in it just to make it look like I had something. Thank God I find my 3 bags. I come back and I look like, I don't know, someone who's on the Oregon Trail with like all their bags. My bag wants to get on, and I like just sit there and shave. My head's down. And like for the next year, even into my sophomore year, Coach Pollard would go, all right, ready to go. Chad, do you have your bags? I was like, I promise you I have. I promise.
Well, at least he stopped after a year. At least he's not still doing it like on the way to Atlanta.
Well, the funny part is now, like, enough time's passed. Now I go, hey, Coach, make sure the freshmen have all their bags. You don't want a freshman to forget their bags, right? And he goes, Chad, that's taking years off my life. Please don't.
It was funny to see Zach's reaction to some of those because it doesn't look like that would happen to Zach.
Well, no, he went to a military school. If he did that, he'd be in a lot more trouble than I was, believe me. Yeah, I mean, you talk about like the couple times I've had really bad anxiety in my life. That's definitely one of them. The funny part is now my roommates, I mean, they graduated, but I always joke with them. I was like, hey, remember the time you forgot my bags? And they're like, yeah, man, we're really sorry. I'm like, you have no idea. Like, there's a time in my life where I'm going to put you through that type of anxiety too, and you're just going to owe me one.
Oh, yeah. Oof. All right. Well, that's going to probably do it for our show. That was a great story. It was great having Zach on. Zach, come back anytime. We'll be doing this again at some point next week. It's going to be a little bit different because we do have the ACC tournament, but I'm sure we actually might have more than one show next week because Chad and I will be on site together, potentially, depending on the schedule. Yeah, well, without a doubt. Yeah, Duke's in. I'm going. It's happening. So we'll have some more content. And Zach, last question: how the mustache is staying for now, right?
The mustache will be staying through the rest of my time at Duke.
There we go. All right, there we go. So hopefully for another month or so. Fingers crossed.
So but having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, no, it was great, and this week we didn't do any stats, but we'll have to come up with some more stats for the future for Chad to talk about because I know we still need to talk about his paper. I'm still trying to work my way through it, but
we just graduated. We need a little break from the academia. Right?
Okay, all right, yeah. Says the guy that did that 25-page paper on his downtime.
brain. There's a lot of information.
I mean, Monty, now you're making me look like the nerd. Come on.
I just saying. All right. So until next week, this is it. We'll see you next week.